So let's see Division 2 now, Johnny. Let's flip along to Division 2 and see where we're at. The teams that are trying to fight their way into Division 1 and play for the OrkneyBowl title next year, big league.
So the Orkney Orcas 183.95 get a shock against the Godalming Goats 158.83, last week's highest scorers. The Newcastle Buccaneers 219.12 up against the Warner's Brave Goonies, losing their first game 179.86. Closet Fighting Gophers go 2-1 with 230.85 against the Solihull Sharks 202. Bankfoot Panthers, that's I think it's the highest one in the division. Fraser 250.93 up against the Yorkshire Fincher 227.71 and got beat. The Whitehall White Tigers over 362.81 against the Harrow Harlequins 202.54. Sean, the favourites for the division, 227.04 up against the Steelcombe Bengals 181.28. So there's only one 3-0 team, and that's Sean. We'll have to go for this one first. Where is it? 250 to 227. He would have beaten everybody else in the living next.
I was going to say before we go to your game, and you can talk us through it, Johnny. No, go on to Bankfoot Panthers. So
this one here.
Speaking with Fraser. Yeah, that one. Yeah. So I was speaking with Fraser this week, and he was saying how chuffed he is with his team. It's one of those ones. He's replaced his porn with his OrkneyBowl team at the moment because he just loves it so much, And he was 1-1. He was 1-1, and he's telling me how much he absolutely loves his team, And boom, there you go. Shows up with 250 points in a week where it was a low scoring week. People into there's a lot less teams in 200 plus this week than there has been. So. Let's have a look at this team that he's so in love with. So he's got Mahomes there, obviously. Yep,
Mahomes, Kieran Williams, all day long. David Montgomery, Brandon Ayuk, DK Metcalf, Chris Godwin, Isaiah Likely did nothing, Jordan Mason, Zach Moss, Chris Boswell, Zay Bowen, and Al Zaire. So he got nearly 50 points for his defenders, so that helps.
Such a difference, I mean, Moss. The defenders makes. I say
his main running backs there. 37 and 27 for his two main running backs. Plus, he got another 27 points for Moss. He only got 15 for Mason, but still.
How worried are you about Brandon Ayuk? I mean, he's been paid, and what's he done?
Well, I watched the game, and there was one point he was clear. Purdy had time. He could have launched it down the field, but he just took too long and then dumped it off. But Brandon, he's past the defender. He's got the arm to throw it, but he didn't throw it.
I mean, there's got
and it would have been a touchdown. It would have been an easier catch than that crazy one he did last year with a tip catch. If he'd hit him, it was a touchdown. But he didn't even attempt to throw it. He just looked down and dumped it off to Schubert or whatever it was.
It definitely worries. It worries me if I'm an Ayuk owner because Purdy's balling out. It's not like Purdy's playing bad. Purdy went for nearly 300 yards, He's thrown for, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's thrown for a lot of yards. It's the same worry I've got with Kelsey not being involved. At Kansas, I would be worried about Ayuk not being involved with the amount of passing that's going on there. So, yeah, other than that...
10 targets, he caught 5 of them. So, but yeah, so he's still getting the targets. It's just no catching
48 yards. It's they went on about it. They banged that drum. The Niners fans, they banged that drum about saying getting them paid. Well, be careful what you wish for is all I could say. But other than Ayuk, who will have these big games, and you would think he'll come pretty decent. I can see why Roddy likes the team. It's quite. I mean, I'd be getting rid of Vidal. Vidal's not one that'd be sitting on my bench at the moment. That's for sure.
Well, his bench has got. He's got Jerome Ford, Tyler Lockett, Calvin Ridley, TJ Higgins is back. He'll do better. It's his first game back. Noah Fant, who seems to be actually quite popular tight end. I'd probably play him at the moment over likely. Queen, so his bench is pretty bloody solid too, to be honest.
Yeah, bench is great as well. Yeah, I can see why he's happy with it. I've got to say, that's a solid team. And look, just
commiserations do go to Luke. Because Luke would have beaten everybody else in the bid, and he'd have beaten Sean by 1 point or something like that, because with 227.71. So obviously Daniel's 39 points, Henry 36 points, Mattison, Myers, Harrison. Obviously Waddle's a sore one with that quarterback situation. The Kelsey problem, 12.1. He's got Ferguson playing though. He got put Braylon Allen in. That was a brave one. Got 1 point up his kicker, which you wouldn't expect normally, but yeah, it's unusual. The Luke on, I think he must have gone up injured or something like that, because he's 6 points.
Yeah, he's
And he's
normally a
there
lot more
flanking
than
at
that. He's
26.
questionable on his side.
So
I mean,
he might miss next week's game as well.
You've scored 200 over 220 points. There is no need to panic. So you're 1-2. It doesn't matter. Not at this stage, you know. As long as you're scoring points like that, it's just shake it off and move on. You know, it's one of those. You don't lose any sleep over losing that. It's annoying. It's really annoying. But you don't lose sleep over that. It's
Oh God, no.
nothing you can do about it. You know, you've done all you can. You've scored the second most points in the division, and you've got beat. So good win for Fraser. And here comes Sean as well. Is Sean the only 3-0 team in this division, in this league as well? He is, isn't he? Yeah, Sean's the
he
only
is.
3-0. So
The highest scoring team is over 680 points. He scored in 3 games.
yeah, I mean
You got
the
Aaron Rodgers, 30
Newcastle
points.
Colts.
Barkley. But then obviously he's managed to still get all those points with Kamara not doing as much as normal. Pittman getting 11. Devontae Smith losing the game. Nothing of Shaheed out of 5
Shahid
targets.
0.
Losing Porter
Laporta
coming
as
back
well,
in. Still was
and
like losing
up.
Porter. Robinson didn't do much apart from score a touchdown. Aaron Jones did well. Hugh didn't much. Ellis didn't do much. And Spillane did well. They still managed to
Yeah, so I
score
mean,
that with half his team underperforming.
but do you know what? Do you know what the thing about that as well is? And do you know what will be very encouraging for Sean at this stage? The guys who have kind of underperformed per se, Pittman aside, have been performing in the weeks, the first couple of weeks. And the guys who have scored this week are guys that haven't been so much, Aaron Rodgers, Barkley had a good week 1, a really bad week 2, so it's kind of the spread of his team. All of his team are scoring points, maybe not always in the same week, but they're all scoring points, and that's got to please you. That's got to make you very happy.
Well, Rico Dowdle on the bench got 11. Kirk got 20. McLaurin finally got some points, 23. But and obviously
McLaurin will
Watson
just
got
get
10
better as the
points.
season goes on for me. McLaurin will, oh, look, Christian Kirk had a week for a change. So there's maybe him, kind of announcing himself to 2024 as well. Now McLaurin announcing himself to 2024. So big options there for him, and it's big choices for Sean. Sean, the Indianapolis Colts fan, by the way, Newcastle Colts. Would you be dropping? I would be dropping Pittman and putting McLaurin in. I've got to say, at this stage now, it's
Well,
time
I
to
would.
drop him.
I don't. Yeah. Well, I was like Pittman even last year. He did well with the backup. Was that Flacco last year? No, he was the backup last year.
Yeah, it's Flacco.
Minshew. No, Minshew was the backup last year. Flacco was the backup in the Browns. That's why the Browns let him go, because of the hassle with Watson. Because their fans would rather have Flacco play than Watson. So they went, right, see you. So then he went to the Colts. It was Gardner Minshew
I knew he'd
that
be
balled
the
out,
cool.
and Pittman got all the points, mainly from Minshew last year, not from the couple of games that thing we played. But yeah,
Who's showing it? But yeah, but I mean, at least Minshew got the ball to him. This is a problem. He's not getting Richardson is not getting the ball to him, and there you go. That's the problem for who is it that's on the right again? Sorry, Johnny.
got Stoke on Bengals, so they're 1 and
Stoke on
2.
Bengals, yeah. See, that's it. They've very much got the Richardson problem. Stevenson it's just one of those weeks. Stevenson's still going to be the number 1 running back
Oh
there,
my
and
god,
he's going
that
to
was
get the
just
carries and he's going to get the touches. I wouldn't.
the
I'm not worried
defensive
about
line was a
Stevenson.
disaster. So,
I'm not
yeah,
worried about them. Their chases finally said hello to 2024. I mean, it was only a matter of time, but now that that's him going and Higgins is back, and Higgins being back's not a bad thing for Chase, in my opinion. It's a good thing because it means that you get defenders have got to look at Higgins too. So I think that's a
yeah.
good thing for Chase. Adams and
Thank
Evans.
God
So
that was out.
it's amazing how many leagues that we look in that Adams and Evans are in the same team. You know, it's quite uncanny.
Yeah.
But it would worry me carrying both. They'll both have good weeks, but as you can see, like this week, they can both have bad weeks as well because they're just not in very good teams.
Well, that'll be 2 weeks in a row, like, because was it not the week before everything went to Goddard, or was it the week before that? Ken, it seems to be throwing, no Goddard, Godwin. He seems in the
Godwin,
slot, he's getting all the targets, but yeah.
it's
It's
because he's in.
Gesicki
It's
had put
because
it
he's
in his
in the
flex,
slot.
so yeah.
It's because he's in the slot. But Evans will have his weeks as well. You know, it's not Evans will have we. Evans will go
Oh,
for over 1,000 yards this year. I mean, it's just what Evans does. There's no ifs, no buts, no
look at the
maybes if he
bench.
stays fit. Yeah, there
He
you
picked
go.
up Jets
That's
and he put him
therein
in.
lies the issue. You know, it's you bent you, you. I mean, I don't get why you wouldn't play Joanne Jennings this week. If you have him in your team, then you must think something of him. And to have him in your team and not play him this week,
And lose by
it
50
kind of
points, and
seems,
he scores 50 points.
you know.
Ouch.
So if you've got him and Samuel's out and then Kittle goes out, I think you have to play him. So it's kind of a funky one. Talk us through yours then, Johnny. You thought you were
Well, I thought, well, after
behind
last
in it,
week's
were
game
you?
with Rob Warner, I thought I was going to get pumped, like, because obviously I'm on the threadbare team with losing Cup and McCaffrey. But yeah, Stroud didn't do much. Hubbard was a nice surprise, getting 37 points, being the main
Yeah,
running
I'll bet.
back. Hall, another fumble, but he's still getting his touches. Quentin, I put Quentin Johnson in, which worked out, getting a touchdown. Like I say, Jaden Reed will do more. Sutton finally turned up and get some points. Schultz didn't do much, but then not many did in Houston that game, but he got more time. I put in Strange again, didn't do much, but he got his touchdown, so that was quite
Yeah,
nice.
I rolled the strange card.
Hunt and Henry
I
did
rolled the
bugger all.
strange card.
McPherson didn't really have to get much chance to do much. They're playing catch up. Got Okereke and Singleton both did well. Yeah, so obviously I had Wilson on the bench. So I think he's in my starting
Who's
lineup this week actually.
at least, you know,
I'm a bit,
and do you know, this is the kind of week I was, but I've got Wilson on my bench as well and OrkneyBowl, and I've got him and Show Me the Money bench. And this is the kind of week I was waiting on to be comfortable putting him in. You know, I knew it was going to come. I knew it was going to come sooner or later. Glad it's sooner, but you know, that does kind of tell me that he is the bona fide number two there, and he will be the number two target. You know, maybe not. Well, you know,
yeah.
you've got obviously McBride as well. Who there's another tight end of the top echelon of tight ends who's done nothing, by the way. But tell me this, Johnny, Brees Hall. Are you worried about the emergence of Allen, or are you happy about the emergence of
Eh,
Allen because it will keep him fresh?
I'm not overly concerned because he still will be the number one running back, but if he keeps on fumbling, I might start getting a bit worried. But they do seem to, it's to me they're like Jacobs and Bradshaw for the Giants when they both had the two-headed monster and they both scored fantasy points.
And
And
that's
they both do again. The Bradshaw?
I agree with
Yeah.
you. I
Kev,
agree
I mean, they'll both
100%.
score. If I had both on my team, I'd probably play both of them, one
It's
in the
one of those
flex, because
ones
you're
where
going to
you could.
get 15 points. So,
It
because
is one of those rarities where you can play both running backs. The other team that have got that right now for me is Detroit. You know, if I had Gibbs and Montgomery, I'd happily play both, no problem. You know that they're both getting production, but it's a rarity. And even now, in the days of the kind of committee back rather than bell cow back, it's still a rarity where you get two of the same team that constantly will produce, and I think that is true. I think Hall and Allen are two who will constantly produce in the
because
same weeks. You know,
bearing in mind, before the preseason, when after the draft, I said how much I liked Allen, and I was basically going, oh no, he's never going to get in the field because Brees Hall's here. Well, he is getting
there
on
you
the
go.
field because
He's
he's a
getting on
bloody
the
good
field,
running back.
and
So yeah, no,
you're
it's good.
right.
I'd love to go him too, but yeah, it's
You've ran into
for
the
that.
Godalming goats and the highest scorers
Yeah,
from last week. You've ran into them in the right week. Achan getting
bloody right.
next to nothing. You know, Connor, who's been absolutely flying, got next to nothing. Lamb's not done it.
Yeah,
Collins, who's
Andrews
been going
again.
absolutely mental, didn't get much. Andrews get nothing. You know, you've ran into him in the right week.
I know. But then he's also got the problem. He's got Dak Prescott on the bench. So
Yeah,
that to
that's
Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray. You're always going to play Kyler Murray,
yeah, but
even against
well,
the
I mean,
Seahawks. So
I mean, there's weeks where you can play Dak over Murray for sure, but you're going to look silly more often than not because the one on the bench is going to score more points than the one that starts
just like
often.
that. Yeah.
So,
Although probably, yeah. So, but
like
then
for me,
Chase
that's not
Brown the
even
bench.
the fact that you've got the two of them. You're going to make the wrong decision a lot throughout the season. I mean, it's not cost them the game, but it's got close to it here.
It would have
But
been close. It would have been.
it's not even that. It's where you had to draft them both. There are genuine starting wide receivers, starting running backs kicking around in the rounds that you have to pick up. I mean, Kyler Murray was going anything between kind of 6 and 10, and Prescott was going around the same time. So
Yeah.
you're still picking your starting lineup, and you're picking a benched quarterback who's going to do things like this and make you look silly, you know. So I mean, it's not cost them the game, as we say. It's a 16-point swing, so wouldn't have done it, but it's not a million miles off it. And there are weeks where
It
it
would
could
have been a
work.
bit. I would have been a bit more nervous. So, especially when bloody Shakir was getting all the fucking catches earlier on. But no,
I
it was
think
a good. It was a surprising win, and it was a good win. So I'll take that. Obviously,
good.
oh, I'm like
Let's have a
scraping
wee look
away
at the
because
table.
losing Cup and losing Hingway. So what the table?
Let's look at the table then,
So
Johnny.
there you
So
go.
yeah,
So I'm
you've got
sitting in
Sean
seventh at
just.
2-1. So
I mean, that's fine. That's you're 2-1, and this is that
yeah,
this one in contrast to the first division. There's seven on a winning record and five not on a losing record. You know, but listen, everyone's got to be either winning or losing at this point because it's week 3. You know, it's an odd number, so everyone's either winning or losing. There's no 50-50s, but yeah, it's wide open,
yeah.
and you know, Solheim Sharks are only 2 wins behind playoffs, so
And yeah, the White
nothing
Tigers.
to
Yeah, so
Oh,
the Solihull
sorry,
Sharks
Whitehall
have
White
scored.
Tigers as well down there. So yeah, there's two of them, but in the Solihull Sharks. So yeah, I mean they're only 2 wins behind the playoffs, so no need to
Well, the
panic just
Solihull
yet.
Sharks have scored more points than the team in sixth, but
So there you
they've
go.
conceded 674.
And some, you
Yeah,
know, throughout the season, you're going to score pretty well and run into a big score against you. It's just going to happen. Whether it happens at the start of the season, middle of the season, or the end of the season, it's going to happen at some point. For me, I better get out of the way early, you know. I'd say the same with Luke as well, you know, he's 227 points this week. If you're going to score that week in, week out, you're going to make the playoffs. So
oh, definitely.
you can't panic at
I'm just
that.
waiting for, well, if McCaffrey ever appears, and obviously hopefully Cup will be back because he'll be missing. So I'm missing two big players. So to get a win, I'm quite
Massive,
happy.
massive players, Johnny. And that's the thing. If you can hang on in there and get yourself, you know, kind of in playoff contention, when those two come back, they'll put you over the edge, and you know that could be a title. You know, that could be a title winning couple of players coming in. You know, so and
Yeah,
of course they'll be coming in a lot fresher because they've been sitting off, so they'll have the energy, they'll have the legs, they'll not be banged up.
hopefully.